Bromai, presented by Heritage Valley Health System, the show that talks about what's happening in Beaver County, along with news and weather with Curtis Walsh and sports with Matt Durzick. And now, here is the host of the show, Mike Romai.
I'm not Mike Romai, and I don't pretend to be Mike Romai. Frank Sparks, I'll be here today and tomorrow. And joining us now in studio is Dr. Mark Holtzman. He is the superintendent of the Beaver Area School District. Good morning, Dr. Holtzman.
Good morning, Frank. Thanks for having me.
So, first off, you've been in the Beaver School District. This is your second school year as the superintendent of schools. Tell everybody that doesn't know who Dr. Mark Holtzman is a little bit about yourself.
Wow. So how I got here, I spent probably approximately 20 years in education. This may be my 20th or 21st year. Been a superintendent previously. Was previously in the McKeesport Area School District where I graduated and grew up. Spent some time in the West Mifflin Area School District during the probably only or maybe the first mandated merger between schools with Duquesne City School, East Allegheny, and West Mifflin. Was recruited there to help support that. Had a past and a history of playing athletics, opportunities, went on from high school to Syracuse University, was a defensive lineman on some really productive college football teams, and went on back to my alma mater and became a high school coach, became a social studies teacher as a graduate student. Then went back to graduate school and ultimately became the high school principal of my previous my alma mater, and then moved up through the chain of command there, became the director of secondary education, and then ultimately served as the superintendent for the previous 5 years before coming here to Beaver Area.
So what brought you to Beaver Area?
Well, kind of a unique story. Some previous superintendent that I'd worked for in the West Mifflin Area School District was hired to do the search here at Beaver Area for a superintendent. It reached out to me. Kind of had some tumultuous politics happening in McKeesport after all those years, and was considering a change and a fresh start. And so he reached out and said, "You should probably consider Beaver Area." And to be quite honest, I really didn't know a whole lot about Beaver Area. Wasn't sure what to expect, and started into the interview process along with one other district that I was considering, and was very fortunate to really fall in love with the Beaver Area, the school district. The school board at the time was incredibly engaging, and after being here for a better part of a year and a half here, it's just an incredible place that does wonderful things for kids, has supportive families. It's just I don't know. My children, I'm a father of 4. My daughters say it's like too good to be true, Dad. It's like Disney World. And compared to some of the challenges that I've faced in my career in education, crime, poverty, challenges of that nature in an urban community, being here at Beaver has been a real blessing and really an exciting time.
Well, I do have to get one thing out right away so I don't get in trouble. And that is, I was told to tell you that you have the best transportation company in the area as your transportation company in Fry Transportation.
I can't deny that. And to be quite honest, I have to share a little story about Mr. Fry and his company because of the not only the job he does, but all the extras. My father's a former chief of police, and you may have seen or heard that one of the police officers in the McKeesport area was killed, kind of responding to an issue. Mm-hmm. And DJ volunteered and actually did. He actually volunteered several buses to drive all the way, an hour and 15 minutes to the McKeesport area, pick up the Fraternal Order of Police retirees and current police officers, drive them to Baldwin for the funeral, for the FOP, ceremony for that slain officer, and then return them back to McKeesport, return his buses back to the, Beaver County for no expense. That's the kind of person he is, and the service he provides to our children in many school districts in our county here in Beaver is remarkable. He's as first class as it gets.
Amen. I'm with you on that, no doubt. So about a year and a half in Beaver, What are some of the hidden gems that maybe you didn't know about the Beaver School District that you found out in your short time you've been there so far?
Yeah, amazingly, every school system, every business industry has tough times, tumultuous times, changes in leadership, things of that nature. COVID played a huge role in making challenging situations for all of us. And really what is, Beaver is an incredibly high-performing school system. It's been successful in spite of challenging times, in spite of the challenges with COVID or changes to leadership or any tumultuous, maybe political things that needed to be managed. And so to me, it's the educators. Our educators in the Beaver Area School District are incredible. The accountability that they have to one another, the effort, the commitment. There's a teacher shortage, and it's challenging to find good quality educators. We have some of the best, if not the best, in the business. And when they come to Beaver, they stay here. And it's really special to see how they operate on a daily basis, how they interact, how they build relationships, the rigorous environment, the caring and the support they provide to our students, and also our families. Our families are incredible. We have kind of and this is just my observation, a blue-collar attitude and feel with a lot of pride in what folks do in the Beaver Area School District and the support they provide their children, the engagement, involvement in the schools, and just the overall pride that they have. And it sounds like everything's great, but it kind of is. Our building and grounds and custodial staff, oftentimes those are challenges, right? Keeping those folks staffed and making sure that those things are, our schools are clean and safe and well maintained. They're the most incredible group I've ever seen. The hardest working group I've ever seen in any schools I've ever been. You could go in and I don't know if you should try it, but you can eat off the floor. I mean, the place is clean. People are happy and they interact well with our students and staff, and it really is a special, special place that I'm just proud to be a part of and hoping to help, leave it a little better than I found it.
It's 8:17 here in Beaver County. I'm Frank Sparks in for Mike Romi this morning. Our guest this morning is Dr. Mark Holtzman. He is the superintendent of the Beaver Area School District. So how many buildings in total entail the Beaver School District?
So we have a total of really 4 buildings. We have an administration building where my primary office is housed, with a lot of the central office administrators are housed. And then we have our middle school, high school, which is one building, but they operate as 2 separate. So our junior high and our middle, we'll call it middle school, 7th and 8th grade, and then our high school, 9 through 12, are housed in the same building. But they function as 2 separate schools. I mean, they share some services and share some parts of the facility, but generally they ran as 2 separate. And then we have Dutch Ridge here at Brighton. That's a blue ribbon school, super high achieving, grades 3 through 6, and then our kindergarten through 2nd grade. That's at College Square, downtown Beaver. So it's really an incredible setup because it allows us to focus changes to curriculum, instruction, supporting our staff. All our kindergarten teachers are housed in one place, all our 3rd grades in one place, whereas at previous schools I've been, you have multiple elementary schools and multiple schools where it's challenging to make those consistent changes that are good for kids in both of those buildings or several buildings across the district.
So I saw recently, and look to you for more explanation on this, the Beaver Area School District was designated as a lighthouse district. What does that mean?
So it's kind of incredible. I've been very fortunate to build an incredible administrative team. Many of them are brand new, as I am, or relatively new now. So one of which is my assistant superintendent, Miss Emily Sanders, and she's like a walking educational journal. I mean, her overall knowledge and expertise is absolutely incredible, and she's not the only one. But her relationships with what is AASA, is this National Superintendent's Organization, and her relationships to the Grable Foundation and Remake Learning and Greg Bear and those folks have kind of spilled over to incorporate me. So basically what has occurred is we've been fortunate enough to be included in a group of Learning 2025. professional development opportunities for our administrative staff as well as our teaching staff and myself. And through that process, we were recognized as one of the schools to watch. About 3/4 of the way through last year, we were trying to implement some innovative ideas and think about personalized learning and think about how technology is being utilized or underutilized. And at that point, we were recognized at one of the national conferences just as a school to watch. We were put on the list. So this year, we decided to kind of dive a little deeper, and there was a very lengthy application to apply to be a Lighthouse School designated school, which there's only 31 in the entire nation. And through a lot of hard work by Miss Emily Sanders, as well as some others that incorporated or were part of it, we were able to get the designation, which we didn't really think we were going to get. But basically what it does is recognize our school district for the innovative practices, the direction, the planning, and the future that we're trying to bring to Beaver area. Whether it's giving kids opportunities to fly drones or use VEX robotics or e-gaming and all the efforts that are made around those things. So many of those new programs we're trying to create consistently, where there were pockets of those things here at Beaver, and we're trying to create some continuity from kindergarten to 12th grade.
So you seem like you're probably around the same age I am, 50s maybe.
45.
Okay. Well, you're a little, you know what I mean, the 40 to 50 range.
Yep.
So what today's high schools and today's school districts is nothing like when you and I went to school. What is, are you able to move forward and be one of the top ones with different things like you were talking about with technology and things like that? Because before it was more of a books thing, and now I notice more nowadays it's not that much.
Yeah, the needle's really changed. I mean, in a multitude of ways. Number one, artificial intelligence is in the process of changing the world here, and we have to find ways to utilize it and embrace it and use it and teach children and staff to use it appropriately and effectively, which is hard. It's going to be challenging, but it's necessary. But you talk about how innovation is kind of impacted schools. We started to get into coding and programming and things of that nature, computer science ideas, and that never really took the shape it needed to because of COVID, because it's expensive, and because it's challenging to find great instructors. And now artificial intelligence has kind of jumped ahead. The other thing that's challenging is all the mandates, Pennsylvania Department of Education's mandates. It's frustrating. Oftentimes they're unfunded. And we're expected to do things that are just sometimes not reasonable or not timely. And so for us, it's like, how do you take Beaver Area School District, which has historically been a high-performing place, and kind of take it to that next level? It's easy to take over something that's struggling and grab some of the low-hanging fruit and rearrange and reorganize and kind of do things a little differently and see that result. But to take a place that's already pretty special and take it to that next level could be, quite challenging. So for us, schools look very different. The traditional seating, traditional instruction. Teachers are more like facilitators now than they are like giving direct instruction. There's a lot of flexible seating ideas that exist where kids aren't sitting in straight rows and desks. They're sitting on pillows. They're sitting on, other things where their focus may or may not, in some cases, be a little better. And then how we're managing technology so that it's not a distraction, but necessarily not always the primary educational tool, but it's meaningful and it's supplemental and it's really helpful in moving the needle and making the whole teaching and learning process better.
So far, how have you put the Dr. Mark Holtzman stamp on the Beaver School District?
So I guess the way that I'm unique is if it's good for kids, I'm interested. If it's not good for kids, I'm not interested. That's number one. Number two, I go to every single event I could possibly attend. Although I live a little ways from here, I camp out in my office. I have no problem doing that. I have an incredible wife and kids at home that understand my commitment and sacrifice to the work that I do. So that's what makes me unique. I go to, if it's music events, it's athletic events, it's National Honor Society, it's banquets, it's anything that's recognizing and watching our children perform at any level. Our musicals, things of that nature are just incredible experiences, dances. And it gives a chance for me to build relationships. I'm about relationships. I'm about trust and loyalty and making sure that I'm meeting the needs of not only all our children and families, but our staff. So I am in our schools probably just about every day. I try to visit our schools multiple times a week. I visit classrooms. I make it my point that every child knows my name, knows what I look like. I visit all the kindergarten classrooms because they're new to our district. They may not know my name, but they know something silly about me. I carry a Superman lanyard to try to build those relationships.
That's cool.
and break their ice a little bit with the little ones. But those are the things that I value most. So I find myself to be more useful, not sitting behind a computer, maybe necessarily writing a grant, but being out in the middle of our school during the class changes, in the cafeteria, helping kids mature, model what I think their future should look like, and building relationships and getting to know them and their families.
In your opinion, what sets the Beaver School District apart from some of the others?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, obviously the educators are remarkable, the families. I just think everything works. So a lot of the things that you mentioned, DJ Fry and DJ Fry Transportation, the pressures that are on public schools right now are quite challenging, whether it's legal issues, whether it's transportation, whether it's negative behaviors. People are talking about mental health and challenging issues that children are faced with, high levels of children with special needs, financial issues, facility problems. I can go on and on and on. Here at Beaver, we have our fair share of challenges. We have areas in which we need to focus and improve. But overall, those real pressures work together really well to not create additional stress in our school system and in our community. Our community appears, not knowing a whole lot about those details, but appears to manage our sending communities, manage themselves quite well. And they're not real involved in wanting to be or needing to be involved in the day-to-day operations of schools, which kind of limits the political challenges that do exist in many other communities. And then you have contractors and people like Fry Transportation that I never have to worry about if buses are showing up, if there's an issue, because DJ and his team are incredible. And so when you think about all those pieces that in some districts, they're all a struggle, Beaver really doesn't have to contend with and battle those things. And instead, and a lot of times, we're able to focus on teaching and learning and not worry about some of those ancillary things that are sometimes so disruptive that take up all your time. So I think that, to me, is what makes Beaver special and really deserves to be held on a pedestal.
So you talked about community. So how do you go about intertwining the school district within the community and vice versa?
So that's always a challenge a little bit, just because of timing, right? Many of the activities, obviously, our doors are open, and we're always looking for ways to partner in the community, whether it's business and industry or it's other opportunities like for our seniors, trying to find places for them to kind of get intern experiences and things of that nature. But we're oftentimes, participating when we're asked to be involved, partnerships with some of the local colleges and universities here in Beaver County. My son's a freshman at Geneva. That's my commitment here to Beaver County. He's a football player and had a good experience this year as a freshman. But, CCBC, we have, we just finalized our reunification plans with the Dome there and built some relationships with their staff. But really, when there's anybody calls upon us or our students, we have a junior ROTC program that is incredible, and they do a lot of volunteer hours and different things. So those, to me, are really priorities for me, is making sure that we're meeting whatever needs we can in the community and building those strong reciprocal relationships so we can continue to support whatever it is that's requested of us.
We just made a comment Saturday during the Veterans Day Parade. I have never, ever seen so many people involved in the Beaver Junior ROTC as what I've seen now. There had to be at least 50 kids there.
Yeah, we are very fortunate, and they're great students. We have great instructors. They do a lot of volunteer work. You talk about those parades. That's one of my first experiences here in the Beaver area. I brought my family to the Memorial Day parade, and that's when my daughter, who's now in 5th grade, looked up at me and said, "Dad, look at all these people. This is like Disney World." and she meant that because that's all she knew. We were standing right in front of the clock tower there by PNC Bank, and so those are some of the experiences I try to incorporate. I'm here for Light Up Night. I try to bring my family here and be part of what happens with our high school sports and different things, a musical, because my children, unfortunately don't go here, but I'm able to incorporate them in some way.
Our guest is Dr. Mark Holtzman. He is the superintendent of Beaver Area School District. We're going to take a short break. We'll have more with Dr. Holtzman after news with Curtis Walsh here on Beaver County Radio.
Beaver County Radio's news source, 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMVA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com. Here's Curtis Walsh.
Good morning. Coming up at 9:05, we'll have details on the Beaver County Courthouse closing to the public on November 21st. Creswell Heights Water Authority announcing road closures in Hopewell. A new holiday lights destination coming to Beaver County. The Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission alerting consumers that utilities are adjusting their energy prices this fall. As the winter season approaches, the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation outlining the district's plan for winter maintenance, and workers at more than 200 Starbucks stores planning to walk off on the job today. More on those stories and more coming up at 9:05. We can expect sunny skies today with a high near 67 degrees and increasing clouds tonight, going down to a low of 46 degrees. On this Thursday, November the 16th of 2023, at 32 after 8, we've got a temperature of 43 degrees with sunny skies in Beaver County. Now, a look at sports with Matt Durzik.
Thank you, Curtis. And in sports, the Penguins are at home tonight against the New Jersey Devils at 7 p.m. The Penguins have won 5 straight, but their last win against the Devils was all the way back on February 13, 2022. That game is set for 7 p.m. In men's college basketball, Geneva stays undefeated as they knock off Teal 82-62. But the Duquesne Dukes get their first loss of the season, falling to Princeton 70-67. They are 3-1. In professional football, the Ravens host the Bengals tonight at 8:15 p.m. Currently in the AFC North, Baltimore leads at 7-3. Cincinnati's in last at 5-4. And both the Steelers and Browns are at 6-3. Radio and college football, Pitt will host Boston College at Acrisure Stadium. Pitt is 2-8. Boston College is 6-4. Pre-game at 5 p.m. and kickoff is set for 7 p.m. tonight on Beaver County Radio. And in high school football, 3 local teams are just one step away from the big stage of the WPIAL football playoffs. Mangino breaks it all down in this week's McDonald's preview.
It's Mangino. Here's a look at the McDonald's Beaver County High School preview. A look at the upcoming games this weekend around the valley, brought to you by your Beaver County McDonald's. I'm loving it. It's a huge weekend for football across the WPIAL. 5A and 6A champions will be crowned on Saturday at Norwin High School. At high noon, in the 5A, number 1 seed Peters Township takes on defending WPIAL and PIAA champion and tournament 3 seed Pine Richland. Peters made it to the final with wins over Franklin Regional and Moon. Pine Richland knocked off Bethel Park and upset number 2 seed Penn Hills. In 6A at 6, in a rematch from last year's championship game where North Allegheny beat Central Catholic by 14, 35-21, it's number 1 seed, state-ranked and 10-1 on the season Central Catholic versus number 2 seed, state-ranked and 10-1 North Allegheny. By the way, North Allegheny's only loss this year was to Central Catholic, 50-22. 1A through 4A semifinals happen on Friday, where the loser goes home and the victors punch their ticket to a trip to the North Shore and Acrisure Stadium. In 4A, undefeated, state-ranked, top seed and defending WPIAL and PIAA champion Aliquippa plays Section 2 champion and number 4 seed Mars. Aliquippa got a bye in week 1 and then got past Greater Latrobe last week. Mars rolled past Chartiers Valley and then topped Central Valley last week. The winner takes on the victor of number 2 McKeesport and number 3 Montour. In 3A, reigning WPIAL and PIAA champion, number 1 ranked in the state, Bell Vernon plays number 4 East Allegheny at Norwin High School, while WPIAL runner-up number 2 seed and undefeated Avonworth tackles number 3 seed Elizabeth Forward. In 1A, top seed and undefeated Southside will play number 4 Clairton, while number 2 Fort Cherry matches up against last year's WPIAL finalist number 3 Bishop Canavan. And finally, in 2A, reigning WPIAL champion and number 1 Steel Valley plays number 5 Mohawk at West Allegheny. The winner will play the victor of our game on Beaver County Radio. Number 3 seed Washington Prexies, the number 10 seed Beaver Falls Tigers. Washington comes into the game 10-1. In the playoffs, they beaten number 14 seed Elwood City, and in a rematch from weeks earlier, they topped number 6 McGuffey. Beaver Falls beat number 7 Keystone Oaks, and then last week stuck it to number 2 seed Neshannock 14-13 in a payback for a week 4 game, where then undefeated Neshannock edged out Beaver Falls 27-26. Washington's last championship was 2017. They're hoping to get back to the WPIAL finals for the first time since 2019. Beaver Falls, they're looking to make it to Acrisure for the 4th year in a row. In 20, they were champions, 43-30 over Stowe Rocks. In 21, they lost to Sarah Catholic, 35-12, while committing 9 turnovers. Last year, they fell to Steel Valley, who didn't complete a single pass, 34-14. Will the number 3 Prexies bring an end to the number 2 seed Tigers' dreams for a return trip to the North Shore and a 4th shot in 4 years at a WPIAL championship? Join me, along with Bruce Fry in the booth, Micah Zadian on the sideline. Pre-game Friday, 6:30. Kickoff, 7 o'clock. Listen live on 99.3 FM and 1230 AM WBVP, 95.7 FM and 1460 AM WMBA. Download the Beaver County radio app so you can listen to the game wherever you are, anywhere in the country. Listen to playoff coverage as far as our Beaver County teams will take us, because the best of Beaver County football is heard right here on Beaver County Radio.
And this preview brought to you by your local McDonald's. The local McDonald's restaurants are proud to be partners with Beaver County Radio in sponsoring Beaver County high school football games all season long. Stop into any of the local McDonald's restaurants for everyday value items like 2 for $3 mix and match, sausage burritos, sausage McMuffin, and hash browns. Don't forget to download the app for extra special savings. Looking for a great part-time job? Text McHire.com today to apply. Good luck to all the Beaver County football teams this season from your local McDonald's restaurants. I'm loving it. And that is sports for now. Time to return to the live mic with guest host Frank Sparks here on Beaver County Radio.
It's like old times, huh?
Almost like old times.
We were talking with Dr. Holtzman about the days of COVID and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Matt and I did it ourselves during COVID. We were the only 2 that worked for Beaver County Radio on air during COVID. So
yeah, it was like 3 months straight.
Yeah, it was a long stretch. Yeah, so, but hey,
we made it through.
Just feels like old times all over again.
Oh, just like old times.
All right, Matt.
Thanks.
Matt will be back tomorrow with more sports, and you can get more sports information on our website, beavercountyradio.com.
Welcome to Live Mike with Mike Romai, presented by Heritage Valley Health System, the show that talks about what's happening in Beaver County, along with news and weather with Curtis Walsh, and sports with Matt Durzick. And now, here is the host of the show, Mike Romai.
I'm not Mike Romai. I'm Frank Sparks. And we are back with Dr. Mark Holtzman. He is the superintendent of schools for the Beaver Area School District. And we've been talking about quite a few different things having to do with the Beaver Area School District. And so any big plans for the school district? I know in the past there's a a group of young chorus that I can forget what they're called. But they would come in and they performed for us here at Beaver County Radio. Or anything like that going on for Christmas season this year?
Yeah, so there's always different events, participation, requests made, and oftentimes our music departments, they're so well, our instructors do a great job and our talented kids. So right now they just announced the musical is going to be Cinderella.
Oh, cool.
And that creates some excitement. We have some really talented young people. They did the Newsies last year, which was maybe one of the best musicals I've seen in 20 years. It was remarkable. But yeah, there's a number of things around the holidays. There's a day of giving where we have different things orchestrated throughout the community where our children are able to participate in different things, whether it's cleaning up, whether it's providing, food to folks that need it, whether it's they gather, hats and scarves and gloves, things of that nature. So that we use that on a half a day of school before Thanksgiving break, and our students put together that day of giving for our community and the surrounding areas. And it's a really nice, well-orchestrated opportunity for kids to get engaged with the community.
So how do you, as the superintendent of the schools, how do you go about mixing in the perfect mix of maybe whether it be extracurricular activities along with the curriculum of the school?
Yeah, so oftentimes, I think it's not really understood or taken into consideration the importance of extracurricular activities in our schools. And oftentimes, athletics is often a focal point because it attracts sometimes the biggest crowds. But to be quite honest, I mean, many of our children, and even myself as a young man and my own children, those are some of the main reasons we go to school, is to participate and be involved in things that we enjoy and interests that we have. And so we have to kind of support those things and provide facilities and provide the necessary resources for those kids to have top quality experiences. And that's one of the things I have to admit our school board of directors have done a great job of managing the finances so that we could upgrade facilities. We've recently added another artificial turf field to the rear of our school for a multitude of reasons. We added some new sports, lacrosse, women's golf, in our baseball and softball teams. Oftentimes the weather is not really helpful, and so they could utilize that surface to practice, but also to get our band out of the parking lot so they could utilize that field as well. And multitude of other, middle school sports and things will be using that. But also just looking at other ways and upgrading our stage and our curtains and our lighting and our sound and our auditorium. Those are all costly price tags, but our school board has been committed to having a preventative maintenance plan and also upgrading our facilities to make them places where kids are going to flourish and be successful. So for us, we embrace those extracurricular activities and try our very best to encourage as many kids as possible and have as many options for them as we possibly can.
Our guest this morning is Dr. Mark Holtzman. He is the superintendent of schools of the Beaver Area School District. We're going to take a short break and come back. We'll have more. The phone lines will be open if you have any questions for him. 724-774-1888 and 843-1888.
Are fading in your rearview mirror, there's still time to enjoy your classic car and turn heads this fall. Restore your cherished ride to its former glory and call Ganew's Body Works in Freedom. Gary Snare has been offering collision and restoration services for over 20 years. Everything from lowering or airbagging your rod or street custom to full custom color paint, Ganew's also handles collision and general repairs. Say hello to cooler weather with the hottest car around. Call Ganew's Body Works, 408th Street in Freedom.
Hi, this is Tom Young from First Consultants, Inc. Have you ever heard the phrase, you can't take it with you when you die? Of course you have. Believe it or not, nothing can be further from the truth. Everyone has economic human life value. That value based on what we do and what we earn annually for a lifetime. We all know that the next generations of our family are going to need a tremendous amount of money to circumvent the government and the problems that they have left us for our future. Life insurance creates this money for pennies. Many times it can be created with no additional out-of-pocket cost. You see, you do take it with you, you take it away from the future generations of your family. Give us a call at 724-728-6820 for a complimentary 45-minute discussion, or visit our website, firstconsultantsinc.com, or tune into our monthly multimedia simulcast and Facebook live stream video on the third Tuesday of each month from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
All advisory services are offered through PL Wealth LLC. PL Wealth is a federally registered investment advisor. PL Wealth is no way affiliated with First Consultants, Inc., nor is First Consultants, Inc. a registered investment advisor. Pittsburgh Penguins hockey is back on Beaver County Radio.
Crosby out the center. Tried to get around the stick, and McAvoy does. On the backhand, centers in front. Russ flips it on net and scores! That was magical!
Tune in all season long as the revamped Pittsburgh Penguins are on a quest to win their 6th Stanley Cup championship. Penguins hockey on Beaver County Radio is being brought to you by the St. Barnabas Health System, Falcone's Moon Township Ford, Patriot Home Care, Friendly Federal Credit Union, the Keystone Wellness Program, and Beaver County Radio.
In these unprecedented times, staying informed with accurate information is a necessity, especially in an emergency. Believe it or not, the power to stay informed and be aware of important news alerts in your area is right at your fingertips. Beaver County Emergency Services urges you to sign up for instant mobile message alerts today. It's quick and easy, and once you enroll, Amber Alerts, weather emergencies, and many valuable safety warning and important news bulletin updates will arrive as text messages in your cell phone. Sign up now by visiting beavercountypa.gov. It's free, and it could be a lifesaver for you or somebody else in trouble. Put your fingertips to work and turn your phone into an instant notification alert device. Beaver County Emergency Services, along with other partner organizations, is pleased to make instant notifications available to you, so sign up today.
Welcome to Live Mike with Mike Romai, presented by Heritage Valley Health System, the show that talks about what's happening in Beaver County, along with news and weather with Curtis Walsh, and sports with Matt Durzick. And now, here is the host of the show, Mike Romai.
We're back here on Frank Sparks in for Mike Romai this morning. I'll be here today and tomorrow. Our guest this morning is Dr. Mark Holtzman. He is from the Beaver Area School District. Tomorrow morning at 7:35, we will have Roman Kozak in to talk about him announcing his candidacy to for the 14th District as State Representative. And we'll also have the young lady in from Trish's Truffles, a new business in Monaca. We'll be talking with her as well. Dr. Holtzman, I am supposed to ask you, you're going to like this one. You ready?
I'm ready.
I am supposed to ask you about the 30 for 30 ESPN documentary called The U Number 2 that was about the University of Miami that you were part of. I guess you had a big sack in that?
Yeah, I think they made a mistake with the footage, including me. But, yeah, so I played in the era of the great Miami Hurricanes team of 2001 that had 39 guys drafted off that team. And earlier on in my career, I was a freshman, a redshirt freshman. We played against the Miami Hurricanes in the Carrier Dome, and late in that game, I wasn't a starter. I was a young man, and I got in the game and accidentally ran into the quarterback and caused a fumble. And my colleague and recent nominee for the NFL Hall of Fame, Dwight Freeney, picked up the football and ran about 50 yards for a touchdown. We were both very young men, and it's funny because there was a lot of great plays and great players in that game, from Edgerrin James and Santana Moss and Reggie Wayne and some of the great players on my team like Donovan McNabb. But instead, they incorporated a play of mine as Butch Davis, the former coach of the Miami Hurricanes, in the special, is talking about them losing to us in the Carrier Dome in a very lopsided win for us, for Syracuse. And they showed this clip, and it's kind of a little, I don't know if it's embarrassing or cool, but I just felt like I wasn't really worthy of stealing the national whatever it may be in that particular documentary.
That's still pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it was super cool. Around the time it was released is when, I went on and defended and earned my doctorate degree at the University of Pittsburgh. And I try to explain to my wife that the documentary is way cooler than my doctorate degree, but she just told me I was immature. So anyway, nevertheless, it was a neat time. It was around Christmas time when it was released. So I lived it up, and then kind of forgot about it. And then being here at Beaver and being new to the community, somebody stumbled across it because they saved my name and made the connection, and then it kind of became a topic of conversation for about 30 seconds. I was relevant again.
Where did you say you went to college at?
Syracuse
University.
Okay,
Syracuse. Oh, so you were, McNabb and all. Wow.
Yeah.
So that was probably a fun team to be on.
It was an incredible opportunity. We got to go played in the Fiesta Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Music City Bowl, played in the Insight.com Bowl, won a couple Big East Conference titles, played in some really incredible games, faced Michael Vick at Virginia Tech quite a few times, and had a lot of special experiences, and was very, very fortunate to be there and be part of it. And I wish I would have appreciated it a little bit more, because as a young man, you take opportunities like that for granted. And I look back now and realize that how meaningful those things were, and what great mentors and coaches I had, and some great teammates that I continue to have great relationships with now that live all over the country.
So how do you think that your experiences, especially in the brotherhood of college football, as well as high school and all that, has transformed over into what you do on a daily basis now?
It's 100% relevant. I think just the decision-making, the hard work, the toughness, just discretion, all those things were learned behaviors for me. Those were things that I watched other great mentors, people before me, model for me, and I picked up, not even knowing, I picked up quite a few of those things. And now when I make a decision or I think about something in a different fashion, or I'm a little open-minded about something now than maybe I was as a young man, I could definitely go back to those experiences and relate directly. I'm a huge advocate when it comes to leadership and learning and reading, and some of those things have really reinforced the way in which I was led as a young man to get me where I am today. So I'm very fortunate to have had incredible people, but at one point my position coach was Ed Ogeron, the former head coach of LSU, and you can imagine, based on some of his things in the media over the last few years, what that experience was like. But I had awesome men around me to hold me accountable and make me a better man, and now I kind of, they've instilled some of those things in me.
So far, and we only have a couple minutes left, so you had told us about how you've put your stamp on the school district so far, on the Beaver Area School District. What do you see as your vision altogether for the Beaver Area School District?
So upon my entry into the position, my staff and I did a comprehensive study of the district to really gather the core values and beliefs of our staff and our leaders in and around our schools to determine what those plans look like. So we created a 5-year strategic plan to help us look at each of our major departments: business office, safety, special education, all those things, teaching and learning, and make decisions that and look at those things out 5 years instead of looking at the moment. And let's be proactive instead of reactive. So we have some long-term commitment, and one of them is to maintain our financial stability and continue to do great things with the taxpayers' money to make sure kids are getting a first-class experience. And along those lines is preventative maintenance of our schools and our buildings and facilities, but also continuing to grow our teaching and learning process, giving our teachers, equipping them with the tools they need, and really developing the curriculum in our instruction and our assessment so that our kids are, able to compete in the world that we live in. There's a lot of jobs right now that are brand new, like the AI, prompt engineer, which is a new career. We have to be preparing kids, or at least give them the opportunity to have those experiences before they leave us. So really our vision is to be as innovative as we possibly can, to build as strong relationships as we possibly can, and continue to build the trust that it currently exists between our school board, our administration, and our teaching staff, so that everybody can continue to do their job at the highest level and feel supported.
So you talked earlier about some of the new facilities, the new field and all that type of stuff. So how do you balance out being able to add things like that and have the best education possible for the children of the Beaver Area School District, but yet make it affordable so that the taxpayer doesn't have an increase in their taxes.
Yeah, 100%. I think one of the things that from a district standpoint is when it comes to borrowing money to make those things happen, we've been able to manage the way unfortunately, Beaver Area School District is really on the back of the taxpayer. We don't get very much in state and federal funding. So right now with charter school expenses and retirement expenses and contractual obligations, and you can go on and on and on, they continue to rise with the inflation. So tax increases, unfortunately, are necessary. Historically, you didn't have charter school expenses. You didn't have rising retirement costs. All those things now have changed the way in which we fund schools. So we've been very, I think, strategic and responsible with the way in which we've set aside funds, and we've spent and been responsible and careful of how we have done things previous to me coming aboard. So the idea is that, things like science labs, things like classrooms, things like lighting, roofs, things like that really need the attention so that not only the schools are nice, fashionable places for people to go and be, learning, but they also are safe. And so we've done, I think, a great job of doing that, but not building a fund balance that is astronomical, that make people uncomfortable. We're not holding taxpayer dollars ransom. We're using it effectively and appropriately so that we can continue to have an incredible school system so that everybody's experience, whether they have children or not, is positive.
Dr. Holtzman, thank you for coming in this morning. I'm sure we could spend a lot more time talking about you and the Beaver Area School District. So we'll have to have you back again soon.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity, sharing all the incredible things that happen at Beaver Area, and I look forward to talking with you in the future and continue to work with you in some fashion.
All right, thanks again.
Great.
Don't forget, coming up 9 o'clock, it's your chance to win a $25 gift certificate to Kopika's Pizza New Brighton. All you need to do is like the WBVP WNBA Facebook page, and that's WBVP-WNBA. Share the Beaver County Trivia post and answer the question correctly, and you could win a gift certificate to Kopika's Pizza New Brighton. Winners will be selected on Facebook only. It's Kopika's Beaver County Trivia every Thursday at 9 a.m. on WBVP and WNBA's Facebook page. Good luck to everybody. Our forecast for today's call for sunny skies, high of 67 degrees, increasing clouds overnight tonight with a low down to 46. Tomorrow, rain showers, high of 59 degrees. It's been a wonderful morning. I'm glad that you guys put up with me for a day. I'll be back again tomorrow. Mike will be back with you on Monday. Coming up next is Eddie Crow in Teleform here on Beaver County Radio.
On WBVP and Pinson host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WNBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WNBA.
You're listening to Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls and 1460 WNBA Ambridge, broadcasting live from the St. Barnabas studios.
November's scooting along nicely.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
And Thanksgiving is right around the corner.
Oh, hell yeah.
And if you're in charge of arranging your big feast, the Jones Turkey Farm in Cabot is the clear choice for their delicious, all-natural, free-roaming turkeys and chickens. They're preservative-free, But don't delay. Order now on their new website store at jonesturkeyfarm.com. For the tastiest turkey or chicken in Western Pennsylvania, go to jonesturkeyfarm.com or call 352-2450. Order your bird now from the Jones Turkey Farm in Cabot.
When life brings the great outdoors indoors, you need a reliable washer and dryer with the ability to enhance cleaning and sanitize your laundry. See the experts at AK Nahas to determine a laundry pair that works the best for your family. Whether it's the durability of commercial cleaning like Speed Queen and Maytag, or the capacity and power steam cleaning of GE and Whirlpool, AK Nahas has it all. Cleaning is believing. See it all at AK Nahas Appliance, Furniture, Mattress, and TV. You'll do okay with AK.
Work, kids, school, parents. Your life is busy. When illness or injury interrupts your busy life, Heritage Valley Convenient Care is here for you. Heritage Valley's 7 convenient care walk-in clinics are open every day with extended hours, easily accessible, and accept all major health insurances. And because convenient care is part of Heritage Valley Health System, your Heritage Valley physician can access information about your visit. To find a convenient care near you, go to heritagevalley.org. Heritage Valley and you, uniquely connected for life.
The Best of Beaver County is easy to discover. It's right here on your radio. Tune in Beaver County Radio or watch The Best of Beaver County live on Facebook or YouTube video this and every